I'm the owner of BC Floorplans, and we're a real estate marketing company in Vancouver, BC. And we help realtors with their 2D floor plans, their photos, their videos, and all the marketing aspects they may need to list and sell homes. And basically, we needed help with working with them and our admin staff. So my husband, Todd, is also a co-founder of the job. We've really grown together in doing this. We've had a couple companies before this one, and it really has been just so lovely working with him and being able, like you say, we're bringing our kids into the company as well now. So our son is starting to measure. My daughter is thinking of doing the photos, and it's not a lifelong ambition for them to take over the company currently, which we're okay with. But it is super fun to go out and be on site with them and watch them grow with our clients. Well, unfortunately, in BC here, it was difficult at the time to find somebody who was ultimately willing to take on the admin role as an entry level position. The cost factor of living in Vancouver right now is extremely high and it's just growing considerably. And unfortunately, our business model currently, we're restructuring it, but we can't raise our prices. Realtors just aren't at that level of thought to value what we can do in the respect of putting more money towards it. The cell phones have come a long way and they just are of the mindset, I'll just take my own pictures, which, we've been doing this for 18 years. We completely are capable of providing an outstanding portfolio for them, but some realtors just have difficulty seeing through that aspect. And so we really needed someone who was excited to work with us, taking the phone calls and such, which is a demanding role because realtors really expect everything to be done in about 5 seconds. And the ability to provide like a high level wage in the mindset of what people were wanting in Vancouver for like basically an entry level admin, it was difficult for us to balance that. And so then I had to take on the responsibility of admin for a year myself, which was challenging because also running the business and it was difficult to find time to do anything else. So my mental capability was quite maxed out very much. So yes, our friend Alfred out here was so kind. I was just, talking to him over a glass of wine, just saying, I don't know how much longer I can handle this. And he's like, you have to reach out to Sophie from Resource. It was just incredible that he passed on the information because I had been looking, I'd been trying to source out the, online for what I could find, but it is a very vast knowledge base and a black hole of sorts where you don't know who you're going to be talking to and how it's going to be working out like overseas. And so then reaching out to you was just terrific. Definitely, always we tried hiring locally. We're successful in hiring locally. It just unfortunately it would be short-lived. So, like I say, the wage that we could offer, we felt was a very good entry level wage that we could offer an admin staff. We also were taking roles and duties away from the staffing role of admin. We were like, okay, I'll take care of this aspect, or Todd will like pick up that aspect. And we kept trying to like minimize the staffing role in the office. It would just be such a case where we would hire someone, we completely train them. I even actually went through a time where some of the like we would hire someone and then they would say it's too much work. And so then I actually like would hire someone else. So I had one wage going out and then another wage going out. So I had like two people in the office and then I found that they were not actually like committing themselves to push themselves forward in helping us like accomplish more. I was still doing a very good portion of the job with 2 other people sitting in the office. And I mean, possibly I recognize that I tried to see through management. Like I tried to navigate and see if it was my management skills that was not helping them understand the job and the tasks at hand. But ultimately, it always came down to it cost too much in Vancouver to live, and it would be 6 months to a year, and they'd be asking for a raise and something that we couldn't offer. And so then we were looking out to third parties to accomplish various aspects of the job. And we just really needed to like find a new way of doing things. I was a little concerned because of the challenges I had training people in the office. I was a little worried as to how I was going to navigate training someone who is nowhere near and to all completely online. Also, the aspect that my online capabilities, unfortunately, are limited. Like the amount of the industry has changed with AI and everything, and I just was like plugging along so much for so much time, just trying to manage the business and keep everything moving forward that I kind of lost track of how things like have moved forward like with AI and all the new functionalities available. And so I was a little worried that I wasn't going to actually be able to navigate that well enough for a new person online. And so, yeah, it's just was so amazing to be able to talk with you about the whole aspect of how we're going to move forward and the help you offered in finding the person and giving me the tools in also interviewing because I wanted to be able to interview correctly. I have a very casual style of interviewing. I want people to feel relaxed, but I also really wanted to make sure that being that it is somebody who possibly has no idea with out here and how everything works out here, that they understood what was going to be moving forward. Yeah, no, it's great because chatting with you and learning about the onboarding and then the seeing the candidates and actually it was so great to not have be overwhelmed by the number of candidates. I was kind of a little worried at first because I think it was two people that you brought forward. And I mean, normally I'm inundated with like if you use Indeed. Now Indeed is just super overwhelming because their process it just grabs like certain keywords, but you can get 200 people in a day. And that is just crazy because they could not be qualified at all. It's just that their AI grabbed this like minor word that you have like and that is just crazy because they could not be qualified at all. It's just that their AI grabbed this like minor word that you have like photography put out an ad for photography and Indeed and like legit I got like 200 people and I found one person with real estate experience, and in the end, they lied. So that was just torture because I went through all these resumes and I paid wasting time, and it was a total waste of time. And so that I went from that to working with you and like, okay, we're gonna have two potential people for you. I was kind of like, wow, okay, like two. But and then we chatted, like having the other person with the onboarding, chatting with me and like explaining how it was gonna go forward and providing me with some possible questions, some interview questions. I still to this day I use that interview question list because it is really handy and then it was just crazy because, yeah, the one potential interviewer, it was quite funny because it was really like what I had experienced here. She was very a nice person and everything, but it was the key things that I heard were, like basically I'm not gonna work overtime, don't ask me to do this, don't ask me to do that. Like those aspects like were what I was hearing and I was like, "Oh dear." Because that's what I get here, and I was kinda like that was the first person I was like, "Oh dear." And then Kat came online, and she just blew me away. It was just like she even had a PowerPoint created, and she was so friendly, and the other person didn't seem terribly, like, okay with working at night, seemingly, like, taking the interview during my daytime. cat. I was just like, "Are you really okay with, like, are you gonna be able to function?" And, "No, yeah, absolutely." And I haven't for a minute regretted hiring cat. Yeah, absolutely. So in the first, I'd say it was about 6 months. I was like 3, 4 months of working with Kat, like, on Zoom. I was constantly, like, every morning just to get her oriented with the process with the job. I was on Zoom with Kat, and so then I was speaking with her and I felt I could understand her just fine. And as I say, we live in Vancouver, BC. Like, we are completely multicultural here. I feel that I'm pretty good with picking up different accents, even if it's English, as well as the fact that I feel that many people in Vancouver should be competent of hearing and understanding languages. And so I had every confidence that when she would start taking phone calls, that it would work out well. And once she really took on the phone aspect, I was starting to get some kickback from some clients who were saying, like, I really wish, Julie, that you would keep taking the phone calls. Like, I don't really understand Kat. I don't know what she's saying. And it confused me because I tried to get them to, like, give me more detail because I'm like, "Are you not understanding what she's offering you, like, calendar-wise, like, options of services, or are you legit not hearing her correctly, like, understanding what she's saying?" And unfortunately, I guess the politeness or something, they'd clam up, they'd stop talking to me, so I kinda just wrote it off with people needing to adjust, which they always do from one admin to the next. When I had admins for like 6 months and then I would start taking on the job because for whatever reason they quit, they would be asking for like, "Michelle, where's Michelle? Where's Michelle?" And I'd be like, "Nope, it's no problem. I can handle this." So I thought it was possible adjustment, but then it continued on here and there, people just bringing it to my attention. And then the last one, this person is saying to me, like, "I worked in a call center and she really needs to step up her game because she's not doing such and such that I was training people in call centers to do." And again, my inadept ability to take on technology. We have Ring Central, but I did not know how to access call recording. I didn't know that was a thing. So then chatting with you, it was really helpful to just go through the process and explain what I was running into and then working like your knowledge with Ring Central. So then I dove into it further and I found how to record the calls. And then we were able to hear possibly where the disconnect was coming between Kat and the calls. And then it was so great to be able to come back to you and discuss with you how to handle this situation because I didn't want the same downfall that I seem to create. I feel I don't know if it is something that I mismanage, but I really didn't want to mismanage this direction. And so it's very helpful to go to your company and ask you to help me find the tools to work with Kat to explain to her in a better way how to take the calls in a more dynamic way. So basically, like, it was just the calls weren't necessarily wrong what she was saying. It was just like how she was portraying the information. And they're so used to me. I have an automatic, I don't know, just a switch in my brain when I pick up a work phone. It's like constant, like, "Hi, how are you doing? This is great. Okay, everything's gonna be wonderful. Don't worry about it." And she just needed that little like under like
Training.
yeah, training to just be like every time. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter what it is, just to be like, "Hey, how are you doing?" Yeah, I haven't heard any comments, like, since, so I'm hopeful that it's just that not they're not just staying quiet. It's actually but we did do some random checking ourselves on Ring Central, and, because, of course, Todd was also concerned because, unfortunately, still taking calls is a major aspect of our job, and he listened as well, and we felt that the calls were being handled completely fine. Yeah, absolutely. So it has just been lovely to be able to go out and take jobs again. So it's a crazy thing being a business owner because, of course, you can do every aspect of the job yourself. incredibly well and it makes everybody happy and you have no life. So that was something that I really needed to get back. I needed my life. And Kat has provided that to me with like just such amazingness because even the people I would hire here, I would explain to them like communication is key. You always have to just let me know if you're like feeling sick, you're possibly like needing something or whatever. Like if there's a client that's upset, you just keep in contact with me. And like when they were physically in the office in Vancouver, I would be in and out of the office, but I would have to like hope that they understood that they keep in communication with me. And I don't know how, but it would just always seem to fall to the wayside. And then I'd be blindsided by something. They'd just be like, oh, I didn't tell you that this happened and now this person is really upset or some such thing like that. With Kat, it's just been amazing. Like I just have every confidence that if there's something that's going to happen, she's letting me know. Like I'll give her direction to the point where it's just like it's awesome that there is no gray. If I say, okay, you need to let me know about something, and it's just like every time she's like, okay, hey, this has come up. Like, what am I doing with this? I'm like, this is awesome. Okay. And when I had people here, I would not know if they were going to come into work or not. Like, pretty much every morning, I would wake up with the anticipation that I would get a phone call of whatever. It's not happening today. And so I would have to prepare my day for that. If I was going out and taking jobs, I would have to know that the work was ready to be completed like on the road. And with Cat, there I still because of 18 years of experiencing that, there's still like a slight tendency of me like waking up going, okay, today's gonna be okay. But every morning at 9 o'clock, good morning, Julie. I get a text through WhatsApp. Good morning, Julie. And that's it. I just know, okay, the day can start. Like Kat saying good morning. And then if she needs anything, like she lets me know, like if she's feeling sick or she needs some time. And every night I'm like 5 o'clock. I'm like, Kat, you gotta set an alarm. Like, are you good? Like, like have you like handled everything? Do you need any help? And, no, I'm good. I'm good. Just finishing up and I know that by the end of the day, the majority of the work that is absolutely required to be done and out, trust in the process. It's scary because you're starting off with a new company and you're in a different area and you're just like, okay, will someone pick up my call? Will someone be there to help me? Absolutely. That I've just been so happy that if there's something that is concerning, it's one email away, and then quickly a follow-up phone call or Zoom call just to go over the situation. And I really appreciate the tools that you guys provide us, like and the navigation through it. You really do find people that are committed and wanting to work and the the price point, like, I actually was talking with an acquaintance, a friend, a little bit about Resource Worldwide and the experience I've had with Cat because, people will be like, "Well, how are you hiring?" and such like that, and I'm just like, "This has been amazing." And I'm like, "I'm so happy with Cat." It's, like, just been such a awesome experience, and the person who I was kinda taken aback because we'd taken some courses together about being good people. And she was like, "Well, why don't you just cut out Resource Worldwide? Why don't you write Cat directly and say now, like, I'll pay you and we'll just take away that like percentage and not worry about it and then you can do this cheaper." And I said, "No. Like I am a business owner and I would be really choked to hear that would happen to me. And like, quite honestly, I know I'm fairly certain there's a number of photographers that have cut me out of things to going directly to the client. And I said that that's not correct. And also, I value the money that I also provide to Resource Worldwide because I do get the commitment from like yourself and your team and often the tools I need to understand and navigate like the AI aspects. Like it was so funny with Kat. She's like in the very beginning, she said, okay, so something about Slack. I forget the exact sentence now. She's like something about Slack. And for my older self, I thought she was meaning like I was slacking off that it was said, and I was kinda like, "Huh, alright." I guess she caught it in my tone, and she thought about it because I kinda, like, blew it off. It's like, "Yeah, okay, alright, I'm slacking off, alright." And then later she wrote me and she's like, "You know what? Slack it is right."
And you're like, "No."
And, she goes, "This team back and forth, and it's just a social thing, but and it's an AI sort of like whatever, like, it's a online thing to keep track of stuff and talk back and forth." No kidding. So then we started she set it up for me, and we've been using it ever since, and
It's
it's
great, right?
really good.